Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Roybal, aka Zulu Gremlin, and this is the last of this program. So I want to be able to do a couple things. One, first, give you some reminders and a recap of everything we've went over in this program, and then as well, give you a couple of tips as you're moving forward with building your brand and making your cool different TikToks and short films and YouTubes and all those cool things. And then the very last thing, just send my shout outs. So let's start off from the beginning, and very important. So we've talked about several things in the program, but we always talked about the necessity and the importance of always thinking of exercising and our hand-eye coordination exercises. So the exercises that we do, let's just talk about the ones when you're sitting down. Remember, we're sitting for a long time. So remember, sit up straight, throw your shoulders back, hands together. You could push them in each direction, pushing them down, pushing them this way, moving around your fingers. Then of course, remember our stretches of just leaning from side to side. And of course, leaning with the stretch, reaching those arms out, all the way elongating those arms, reaching across, pulling, reaching across and pulling. Then we talked about our neck. This is tilting our neck. Then we have looking up, looking down, and completely looking side to side. And these are just our simple ones. You should be able to do some cool things like this with it if you choose, or and just play around with it. Then with our hand-eye coordination exercises, remember, we're the masters of our hands. So we can't really think of anything without utilizing our hands. It's very important that we all know that we're going to be mastering something. Whatever we choose to do in life, we will be using our hands. So hand-eye coordination, smooth waves, showing me that your left and right hand brain activity is intact. Smooth waves, opening them up, folding them inside out. One finger at a time, showing me one finger at a time. You can do all these things and move all these parts of your body, but can you just move one finger at a time? Switch them over to the other side. Show me one knuckle at a time. Superior mind control. Yeah, create a wave, catch a wave. Create a wave, catch a wave. And these are the things for our hand-eye coordination exercises. So when you think of building your brand or thinking of short films and anything to do with capturing, there is a formula and there is things to think about. There are many things to think about. So while you're building your brand, you want to think about the image, your name, an image to go with it, like a logo, something to do with that. You'd want to think of what it is. Is it a product or a service? Are you a dancer, an artist? Are you showing art? Are you showing something that someone can possibly be able to attain somehow, maybe even purchase? And then you're thinking of like maybe mission statement, why you're doing it. This is all good things to kind of for consumers to understand like what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then your designs, you think of the things like, maybe making a t-shirt design with what you're doing to build your brand. And these are just all concepts to going into building a brand. But when you start to think about building a short film, a way of sharing your brand, then you get to another concept. And so in that, you always want to think of storyboarding. Yeah, storyboarding your ideas. So when you storyboard your ideas, you think of your production company, you producing and what you're doing and how you work as a company. And then you think of the brand or the product that you're going to be sharing with people. You want to have an image for that product. And then you start thinking about the scenes and how you'll capture those scenes. And there's so many different ways of capturing scenes. You can look it up. There's lots of resources on the internet for you to look up so many different things, like building your brand or how to capture the best quality for broadcast, like to share on the internet or to share on YouTube or any other platform that there is out there. And then you'd want to start to think about things and manifest them. this is an example of just the label that goes inside of a t-shirt. And first you start off with an idea, and then you can turn that label into a piece of embroidery. So this is just a headband, and you can turn it into some embroidery, and then you can build a brand, and you can start thinking the label will go in all your things, inside your hat, inside your shirt, anywhere you want. You can choose many colors for your labels. You can have different ones. You notice I have a little space up there so that you're able to sew it into your shirt or your hat. You can think very creatively of how you use your brand. You can take an existing thing and just put your brand right on it. Boom. Just like that, just by printing it on. You even have heat transfers and iron-ons and all these other forms. But building your brand will be very important. It'll be very essential for you. And so how do you think of making your film? You think of first, just a couple things. One, you'll be thinking of what can you do with your films? So I've taught you a couple of dance moves here. I've shown you some cool things you can do. Hand-eye coordination exercises look really cool on film. There's so many different things when you think about what you can do. But once you get past what you can do, then you're gonna start thinking of these things like building it. And then once you build it, you start to think of your polish or your final master and what we like to call deliverables. And so in those deliverables, you start to make your whole piece from beginning to end, and then you start to look at it and give it like constructive criticism. And you really want to look at it for what it is and think, does it tell the story? Is it complete? Do you feel like it's done? And those are when you write your notes, and that would be your rough draft. And then you'll be working on that final draft, trying to think of every note, incorporating all those notes, making sure it's very high quality, pretty good lighting, good sound, make sure everything is what you consider master quality or the best quality that you can find. And you'll have your brand, and hopefully you'll be sharing it with all of us very soon. Thank you all for being a part of this program. I really had a great time sharing all of these cool things that I've been working on over the years, and as well as talking to you, some of you, and some of the projects you're working on. So I encourage you to continue your process, keep working, put in the time, put in the effort. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. We all need some positive things to do when things are out there, when you feel like you just have a lot of time and nothing to do. So this is lots to do right here. You can always make another film. You can always share it and market and promote. Think about how you can do that now virtually. The world is a lot smaller place. So now just think about who could be your audiences, write down notes, build your little sheets to identify and track it and control it and identify the good things about it, like when you're doing good, your best times to be able to share things. And I think everybody will be doing great. So once again, thank you all very much. I want to thank Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory for having me as a part of this program. Carmelita, big respects, big up to you. Thank you so much. I really love sharing what I do. And this is the way that we give back to the community. And hopefully this will go a long way to all of you out there and help inspire you to keep it moving. Universal Zulu Gremlin, peace.